Am I the jerk for telling my ex's parents the reason we broke up? I, 26 female, and my ex, 27 male, broke up after 8 years together. I know, long time. So backstory, last year in December, he went to Colombia for his brother's 40th birthday. After his trip, he posted on Facebook the pictures of his trips. Cool, I didn't think much of it until I noticed a girl hearted only the picture he was in by himself. I asked him about it and told me he didn't know who the girl was. I didn't push further because I didn't see a need to. Come around April, he brings up about going on a solo trip to Brazil for 2 weeks. I asked him if I could go since he knew Brazil was somewhere I've always wanted to go. He said no, he wants to go solo to become more confident and grow as a person. As well, learn about the culture and explore. Since he was the youngest and is in the military, he has always had people telling him what to do. I was like, okay, I trust him. He reassured me everything was going to be okay between us, that he loved me and was coming back to me. Once on his trip, he would decline my calls and only want to text me. I thought this was weird, didn't push it, and just waited. The day after he was back and he was showing me pictures of the trip. That is when I see it, him and a girl on his pictures gallery. I began to question him who's this girl is. First he lies and says he met this girl in Brazil. Then when I tell him to delete the girl's number, that's when I see the name. The same name of the girl that liked his Facebook picture. He explains when he was in Colombia, that girl came up to him and they exchanged numbers and said he was single. He says he snuck her into his Airbnb he was sharing with his brothers and slept with her. That then, a month before his trip, the girl reached out to him and he invited her to Brazil. I couldn't believe it. For the past 8 months, he looks me in the eyes and lied to me. Besides that, had relationships with this other girl, texted her while I slept next to him. We tried to work it out for a week after. Because I truly loved him. 8 years of my life with him since I was 18. We had a future plan out. One day he told me we should break up because there wasn't trust in the relationship anymore. So I said, okay. Grab his phone and walk out to the living room to show his parents. We were living in his parents' house. I told his parents everything because they deserved to know that type of person he was. Most importantly, because they didn't raise him to be that way. His mom went to the room to yell at him and his dad stayed to calm me down since I was crying. I even showed his parents the messages and photos they exchange. After his dad calmed me down for a bit, I went to the room and seen him crying in his bed while his mom was screaming at him. His mom walked out once she saw me and told him he needs to apologize to me and sort this out. As I was packing my things to leave, he began to yell at me about I had no right to tell his parents that, and it should have been him to tell them, and decide if he would tell his parents the whole story. I looked him dead in the eyes and said, I do have every right to tell them, because I know you won't have told them. To keep your image clean. One thing to notice was my ex was always seem a sweet guy that's loved and care for me. That is exactly what I told him too, that he wouldn't have told anyone what he did because he's selfish and narcissistic. His parents cried once I said my goodbyes. It hurt seeing his dad cry because that man was always so serious person. It hurt knowing I lost my other family. My ex walked me to my car and told me he forgive me for telling his parents. Then asked if we could drive to get ice cream to talk to have closure. I told him what is wrong with you. Got in my car and drove around for a bit before having to call my parents if I can move in with them again. So, was I the jerk for telling my ex's parents the reason why we broke up? Am I the jerk for telling my fiancée her tattoo of my dead brother makes me uncomfortable? I'm 29, my brother was 30 when he passed away 3 years ago in a motorcycle accident. This broke me severely, still does. We were incredibly close. He wasn't just my brother, he was my best friend. Losing him broke me. My fiancée, who I'll call Bella, is 28 female, met him only a few times but always said she admired our bond as she has no real siblings of her own. Only step but they aren't close. A few weeks ago, Bella surprised me with a tattoo she got in memory of my brother. It's this pretty big, realistic, grayscale tattoo of his face with a little Snoopy icon beside it on her upper arm, with his nickname we use, and his birth and death dates underneath. When I saw this, I was stunned. She said she did it as a tribute to him and to support me because she knows how much I still struggle with grief. I honestly didn't know what to say at first, but the more I sat with it, the more it bothered me. I told her, gently, as much as I could to be honest, that I appreciated the gesture but found the tattoo really uncomfortable. Like it's unsettling to see his face on my fiancé's body. Like it's too much, especially since they barely knew each other. She got upset and said I was being weird about a nice gesture and making her regret doing something beautiful, her words. Now she's distant, and my mom thinks I should just be thankful someone loved my brother enough to memorialize him. But first off, I didn't ask her to do this. Now I'm stuck with a fiancé that won't even talk to me properly, and my brother's perfectly black and gray eyes staring at me when I'm laying beside her. And honestly, I don't even want to think of how horrifying being intimate while staring at his face. Am I being unreasonable? Asshole-ish? Is it in my right to ask her to get it covered up or like zoinked off? My fiancé and I both have tattoos, and many of them. I have smaller ones, she has bigger ones. To my knowledge, neither of us are mentally ill in any capacity, and we aren't on medication. I can't believe I have to write this. And ever since my reaction, she has been wearing longer-sleeved shirts in the daytime. At work she has to anyway, but that's for home too. It's only during bedtime that I really see it with her wearing tanks, and it physically hurts. Update. After breakfast this morning, my fiancé and spoke about the tattoo again. I basically echoed all the comments I've received, which, by the way, I'm so grateful. Anyway, I told her again that the tattoo made me very uncomfortable and wasn't the leap she needed to take to comfort or support me on my journey with grief, as I still had a firm belief that she didn't do this in a malicious manner. She was quiet initially, and then asked if she could explain herself, and I said I was willing to listen. To summarize, she said she simply got the tattoo because she thought it would symbolize the extent she would go to love me and support me, and said in that way, I had both people I loved so much in the same place. Her words, not mine. She did say she was sorry and that she wouldn't have done it if she knew that I wouldn't have liked it. I asked her why she hadn't spoken to me about it prior, and she said it wouldn't have been a surprise then, which is what she wanted it to be. She also said, and I'm remembering this fresh and internally cringing as I write this, that the tattoo was meant to be a symbol of a new beginning, because we're going to get married in a couple of months, and she wanted to turn over old leaves. I'm still stuck on what she meant, so I'd appreciate any word sleuths helping me in this. To wrap it up, I said, I didn't want to end our relationship over this, and I really wanted to move on from it, but that she needed to either cover it up or laser it off, and she was, to say the least, not very happy about it. Said a cover-up would be complicated and would take too long. Said laser might be painful and look scary from the videos. Also said she likes how the tattoo looks along with her other ones, and asked if I'd be okay with her just covering it up either with clothes or foundation. I was as firm as I could be. Mind you, this is the woman I've loved for 5 years straight, so admittedly I'm soft, but I reiterated that I wanted it gone either by a cover-up or laser. She was quiet then, and that's honestly where the conversation ended. She already left for work at 10, and I'm going to start my own work now, as I work remotely from home, after I finish this. Final update. It's final. I've broken up with her. I don't even know why I'm writing this other than to get some closure on this situation and maybe some support. I've read so many comments this morning, and while it didn't go the way I or anyone anticipated, I've taken my decision, though I'm struggling to accept it myself. Last night when Bella came home from work, I made sure to make dinner and asked if we could talk after dinner in the back garden. She said that was okay, but that she needed time to shower and unwind before dinner, so she'd be a bit late, but that I could start eating. I agreed, and she went upstairs while I ate the dinner I'd made with the TV on in the back. She came down about an hour later, while I was winding things up and washing the dishes from earlier, and I offered to get her a hot plate, and she agreed, saying she'd eat it on the couch in our living room, rather than the kitchen where we have a dining table, also where I ate. I said that was fine, and I brought it over to her, and as I gave it to her while she was sitting, her hand out to take it, I somehow managed to drop it, and the hot spag bowl went all over her. I immediately apologized profusely and went to grab her some water and tissues, towels, but she just started screaming at me. I do not want to make myself sound like a victim in this, so I want to be careful with how I write this. But yes, she started saying that I did that on purpose and that I was punishing her for our conversation that morning, and for the tattoo in general. I immediately defended myself as I brought over a damp towel and some tissues and said I knew I had a steady grip on the plate, so there was no way I had done that on purpose. Also saying that I always spoke respectfully and calmly to her about the tattoo situation and that I'd never escalate things like this. Things beyond are a blur, but we had a big fight and she broke many, and I mean many of our glasses and plates, even trying to pull off a cabinet door in our kitchen that was already not in good condition, and threw anything around her at me. By the end of it, I said I couldn't be with her anymore, and that this was the last straw, and left for my parents' house. I haven't returned, and I haven't picked up any of her calls or messages, and I'm honestly afraid of what she'll do to my belongings if she so easily broke so much of the things we bought together. I'm still at my parents' house, and I haven't told them either, but I think this is it. Have spoken to family about it, and they asked me to try to have a final conversation to remedy this, and I rejected it. We'll be bringing my things back either tonight or tomorrow, depending on when she gets back from work, and we'll bring a friend with me. I'm more at peace with my decision now, so thank you for all the help. Ex-fiancé has gotten a removal scheduled for next week and has called, texted, and gotten her friends to message me and to apologize. I responded and asked to speak, and we met yesterday at my parents' house to speak, with my parents mediating, just for safety and efficiency. She apologized numerous times and asked to give her a chance, saying that she's never been like this before, and it's all a result of a stupid thing she's now embarrassed and ashamed of, referring to the tattoo. I reiterated that it wasn't even really the tattoo that had caused me to leave at the end of the day, but rather her explanation for it and how violent she got with me so easily. My parents were on my side for this, but asked me to be gentle prior, and so I was. Told her I couldn't see us being together any longer, so that is that. Through our conversation, lasted probably the entire late afternoon and evening, I did learn other things. While we were dating much younger on and off, she had kept 2 pregnancies from me and had gotten an abortion. I don't blame her for this action, as I understand the many multifaceted reasons she must have had, and she does have that right over her body. This isn't of much relevance, but I just wished I had known because we could have better prevented it, so she didn't have to go through it. Didn't even have to tell me, I feel, as even if she implied that the things we were using was probably ineffective, I'd change them to prevent what was clearly unwanted at that stage. Anyways, I went over to take my things this morning and we are on better terms. She'll be leaving the house, as it's under my name, in a week's time for her parents' place too. I do forgive her and have asked her to seek support if need be, professionally that is, and she has agreed. Thank you for all the help and support. I'm grieving both losses now, but I'm hopeful that one is for the better. I'm happy that I walked in on my husband being intimate with his partner. So about a year ago, my husband, Matthew, 39 years old, stated that he wanted us to open our marriage. His reasoning was that he was no longer attracted to me because I'm too loose. He didn't want us to get a divorce because he still loved me. He insisted that we continue being a happy couple that did not act sexually with one another. We would have our sexual needs met by someone who we could consider to be our other partner. I was initially hurt by this because when he explained his reasoning, he didn't miss a beat when insulting me. I was no longer attractive to him because I aged. I'm currently 34. I agreed to the open marriage because I love him and didn't want to lose him. A brief set of the rules that we agreed on once we find a partner. We have to introduce our partners to each other. My husband introduces his partner to me and vice versa. We can be intimate with other people, but in order for it to be considered okay, we'll have to tell each other about it. If in a sexual relationship with someone, we must get tested regularly. We don't get intimate with our partner in our home. We can build emotional relationships with someone, but can't be taken as far as love. We show our partners the rules and explain our boundaries. We do not call our partners pet names. My husband and I must come home to each other every night, sleep in the same bed, wake up together, etc. Typical marriage, just without being intimate. We have more rules, but I just wanted to state the main ones. A couple weeks after Matthew insisted we open our marriage, he brought home his partner, Jamie, 24. Jamie is so pretty. He looks like an angel. A fresh-faced, beautiful boy with the uttermost perfect smile, the literal definition of youth. I had never been more intimidated in my life. The introduction was so embarrassing. I had no idea what to say, and I just wanted to cry. I literally witnessed my husband's type change in front of my eyes. Jamie and I are complete opposites, physically and personality-wise. Now onto the story. Yesterday, I came home on my lunch break to take a quick nap before returning to work, and came home to find my husband and Jamie being intimate in our bed. I was shocked and didn't really know what to do, so I just left and went back to work. I honestly wasn't even tired anymore. As I was walking into work, I saw that I was being bombarded with texts and calls from them both, so I just turned my phone off. I got out of work around 9 p.m., but I didn't want to go home. I went to a movie and just drove around after I fell asleep on the side of the road and returned home at 8 a.m. this morning to get ready for work. When I walked in, I saw Matthew and Jamie at the table. Jamie looked sad, while Matthew looked pissed. I told them good morning and went and got ready for work. Matthew followed me yelling, saying that what I did was wrong and my reaction was compelled, uncalled for. He told me I was being overdramatic and had him up all night worried because I wanted to act like a child. I don't know what came over me, but I stopped him mid-sentence and asked for a divorce. You don't love me anymore, and I don't want to love you. I'm so lonely, and I never had anyone nitpick my appearance more than you. If you aren't sexually attracted to me, then marry someone you are sexually attracted to. I want a divorce. He looked shocked and told me that I didn't know what I was saying, and that I was just tired. When he tried walking me to the bed, I really got mad. I smacked his hand away and left again. This was a breakthrough for me. I usually let people walk all over me, but I didn't let him do it again today. I didn't want the open marriage, and I don't want someone who puts me second. Tell me in the comments, have you ever had a moment where you finally stood up for yourself after being hurt for too long? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for daily Reddit stories. All rights belong to the original author. This video is for narration entertainment purposes only.